Hi, I'm Rufus, and you're watching Bosko and Honey's Ukulele Safari 2008.
You're mainly known for your Gibson collecting, so I hear that you've got an example of every style. Is that
Well,
right?
everyone that they made apart from the baritone. I've got the styles 1, 2 and 3 soprano and the 1, 2 and 3 tenor, and that was pretty much all their production models apart from the baritone. My favourite would have to be this one, because I think the style 3 is just ukulele soprano design. Doesn't get any better than that. I think absolutely beautiful. And this one just holds a special place in my heart, not least because it sounds really nice, but it was the first. And then this one, which was the one that I spent the longest time looking for, because this is the ultra rare early decoration model, which I think they only made for a short time before they realised they were already making things like this for the ukulele banjos. So they put the ukulele banjo fretboards on, which are much simpler.
Right.
And so these only survive for a matter of months.
Gorgeous.
I love that one. I'm very partial to the style 3. I think it didn't get any better than that.
You showed us some tenors before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where did I put them? Hang on, I'll go and get them. Well, this one. This is the first tenor ukulele that Gibson made, which we would now call it a style 2 because of the trimming, but at the time it was just the Gibson tenor ukulele, and it's known as the 5-pin version because it has these 5 bridge pins, the 5th of which is entirely unnecessary and surplus to requirements, and it has this extravagant large top bridge plate.
It's got a very kind of modern sound. I think, it's like the sound that luthiers might attempt to get.
I think so. I think
with tenor instruments.
Absolutely. And somebody once told me that the harmonics were very well balanced throughout. So
often there'll be a dead spot, and it's not because of anything except that frequency
is swallowed up by the resonance of the chamber or whatever.
Something like that. But it doesn't seem to have any of that.
I've spoken to some people who are of the opinion that they had dedicated uke luthiers in the Gibson and Martin factories at the time, and for this reason these guys weren't working on the guitars and they weren't working on the mandolins, they were working only on these, so they really got to know what they were doing. It's gorgeous when you play.
It's kind of like golden. Speaking of golden, the other one that you've got, show us that. This is Honey's favourite.
This is the style 3, built in the early 50s. There's one rumour that says they only built 209. I quite like the precision of that number. It may or may not be true. They certainly didn't build very many of them, and with this ridiculous multiply binding and these 3 layers of it's so over the top.
I love it because they probably thought about doing one more
and just couldn't wedge it in.
Yeah, it wouldn't have fitted. It would have collided with the outside of the instrument.
But all that and a sunburst, it's so over the top. If it were a car, it would be dripping with fins and chrome.
Yeah, absolutely.
It?
Well, that's right. Reflecting the era in a way. Like it again, ringing all the way up.
Yeah. You should come up and see the mess in the eagle's nest.
Okay.
Because there's a few more toys up there.
Sure. All right.
Should we go and have a look?
Yep. Why not? Come this way.
Prepare yourself. This used to be my study where the computer and everything was. And all my stuff, while I was at the Swedish Uke Festival, was unceremoniously dumped upstairs. If you have vertigo and problems, then find out how you go here. Next time. This used to be Patsy's.
Really?
Absolutely. And when Patsy knew that I was bitten by the Dobro bug in a big way, he contacted me and and said, I'm thinking of getting rid of mine. If it had to go to anyone, I'd like it to be you.
Oh, wow.
And this is a Montgomery Ward Dobro. It's you won't be able to see it, but there is a lovely Montgomery Ward deco sticker in there, and it's the only one which has this unusual Martin-shaped headstock with the inlaid diamond, and it's oak apparently.
Goodness.
Beautiful,
Isn't it
beautiful. But I now have the old Dobro's rest home here, where we have here's another late one. This is original, and it's got a Grover tailpiece instead of the nice Dobro one. Real special ones, I think, are that's just minty mint, isn't it? And very nice indeed, with its twin sound holes.
Yeah.
That's a Regal made one from Chicago later on, and the earliest one I have, which is a Californian made one, is this little fella who, which I think is probably 1932. If you are an obsessive Gibson collector like me, this one really hits the sweet spot, because it's a 1950s style too, and it is minty mint. And it's got all this slight overspray and this very high saddle are absolutely right. And what have we here? We have the Gibson hang tag that was on it, which with care and instructions. And we also have the purchase receipt from 1949.
Oh, goodness gracious.
From Jenkins Music Company. And from the date, it's nice to extrapolate. By the way, it was $18 in 1949. It's nice to extrapolate that I think it was bought by Mrs. Bryan for her husband for Christmas, because she also bought some strings.
Yes.
And he obviously said, "Thank you, dear." Put it straight in the cupboard. Never played it. So the original case, the original instrument, mint condition. How nice is that?